Well, is anyone above the law in India? The answer, you would say, is not. It is the constitution that decides what privileges are afforded to every single citizen. Everyone is equal in the eyes of the law. But today, when Sonia Gandhi was called for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate, her party unleashed abuse and arrogance. A protest against alleged misuse of central agencies was branded Satyagrah 2.0, but the images on your screens show otherwise. A peaceful protest was usurped by some cadre who not only engaged in violence but also in arson. Accused of a 2,000 crore land grab, money laundering and cheating on taxes, the Gandhis orchestrated these protests across the country. Sample some of these images where in Bengaluru a car was set on fire. In fact, the Youth Congress president justified it, saying this is the anger of the cadre. A vehicle was set on fire in Hyderabad as well. In Delhi, trains were stopped at Shivaji Bridge. At Guwahati, barricades were torn down, and when the police tried to clear the road, they were met with resistance. Ambulance and fire brigade vehicles were stranded in other parts of the country as well. In fact, some members of the Congress even asked, why is somebody like a Sonia Gandhi being forced to come to the ED headquarters when instead the ED should be going to her?
We do not want to have protests like that, but the people are very angry. You know, when you have Nipur Sharma who talks about the Prophet and demeans religion, you know, and the minorities are feeling cornered, they are angry. And you know, if their leaders, they feel these are the leaders who speak about it in Parliament, you know, they stand by them. And then, you know, they will definitely revolt, they'll rebel.
The common man's problem also is Sonia Gandhi. Congress party is a party that brought freedom to this country. We here today stand and voice for the freedom of the human beings, freedom of individuals, freedom of citizens. And now you're trying to cut down the voice of the freedom of the individuals. So the youngsters are getting angry. They're coming out and burning things.
बीजेपी वाले ऐसी झूठे बातों में माहिर हो गए, तो ऐसे बाता अब उनका ही आदमी होगा ये ऐसे कामों में, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी को बदनाम करने के लिए ऐसे फालतू काम। परसों उदयपुर में एक हत्या हुआ था, कौन था वो हिंदू मुसलमानों में कुछ जहर फैलाने के लिए कोशिश किए, वो पकड़ा गया। कौन निकला? भारतीय जनता पार्टी का निकला।
In fact, now the Congress has also said that Part 2 of this Satyagrah will continue tomorrow across all districts. Ravi Shankar Prasad, MP of the Lok Sabha and former Union Minister, is live with us. Sir, doesn't the opposition have the right to carry out a Satyagrah when they feel that they are being hunted down?
Well, the first question I would like to raise today on your channel is, if there is a law in the country, it will operate differently for common people and differently for Sonia Ji and Rahul Gandhi. What kind of message the Congress party, which has ruled the country for more than 60 years, is seeking to give to the common man? अगर तुम्हें पुलिस स्टेशन बुलाया जाएगा, तुम आकर के हजारों को लेकर के घेर लो पुलिस स्टेशन को, IT office, ED office. They want to have double standards. Therefore, when you accuse us of trying to subvert the constitution, rule of law and institutions, what you are doing is exactly that. The second issue is, some facts have to be recalled on your channel. The complaint in this regard was filed before we came to power in 2014. The Delhi Metropolitan Court took cognizance under 420 cheating and also 120B criminal conspiracy against Sonia Ji and Rahul Gandhi. They went to High Court for quashing it, failed. They went to Supreme Court for quashing it, failed. The both of them are on bail today, mother and son. Income tax proceedings started, heavy penalty imposed, and thereafter tribunal also plea rejected, High Court plea rejected. Now if you have already made your party as your pocket party, your leader as your pocket leaders, now you want to make the party's property also as a personal property. That is sum and substance. But the larger issue is, if you have failed in all the legal forums, why would you not appear before the lawful authority to reply to questions. That's the only issue of which they're making all the hullabaloo.
Because today Mallikarjun Kharge said that it is a rule that when anyone is above the age of 65, 65 साल से उम्र के जितने भी वरिष्ठ नागरिक होते हैं उनके घर पर जाकर पूछताछ करते हैं। लेकिन यहाँ पर जानबूझकर बीजेपी पावरफुल दिखने के लिए सोनिया जी को ईडी तक लेके आ रही है।
मैं आपकी बात का जवाब दूं बहुत सरलता से। खड़गे साहब ईडी के दफ्तर में गए थे कि नहीं? खड़गे साहब की उम्र कितनी है आप मुझे बताइए। पहले चिदम्बरम साहब के खिलाफ एक कार्रवाई हुई थी ना, ईडी ने उनको गिरफ्तार भी किया था, वो 100 दिन तिहाड़ जेल में भी थे। ही गॉट द बेल फ्रॉम सुप्रीम कोर्ट। व्हाट इज द एज ऑफ मिस्टर चिदम्बरम? कम ऑन, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लॉजिक इज बीइंग गिवन? She said that she's unwell. Twice the ED gave her time or not by postponing the date of questioning. Therefore, these questions are not relevant. The relevant point is, and therefore today on your channel I need to recall what this whole case is about. This whole issue of National Herald, from Jawaharlal Nehru's time, so many public shareholders were there. It went into non-printing. The Congress government gave it concession lands in Mohali, in Delhi, in Mumbai. Today there is property of crores fetching a rental of crores of rupees. Now 99% of the share, 9 crore share, were transferred to Young India Limited before we came to power in 2010-11. And 76% of Young India is owned by whom? Sonia is 38%, Rahul Gandhi 38%. Therefore, this entire property came into, because all this, including the landed property. And Congress party gave 90 crore rupees to this National Herald publishers. Once it was transferred, that loan was written off. Therefore, without investing a single penny, this huge property and everything came into the kitty of a firm substantially owned by the mother and the son. That's the whole issue is about. Fraud, cheating, conspiracy. The matter is being investigated. Trial will take place. Therefore, all the facts they are not stating. Only Indira Gandhi is, Sonia ji is being victimized. Did you take bail or not? Are you on bail or not? Is Rahul Gandhi on bail or not? Did you run from court to court or not till the apex court and failed in your attempt? Therefore, आपके लिए कानून का रास्ता अलग होगा, दूसरे अलग होगा. And you know, Padmaja, something very interesting today. Today, a tribal woman, marginalized community, sister, a distinguished leader who has done so much for the society is becoming the President of India. A tectonic moment in the polity of the country. And see the Congress behavior, which has ruled the country for more than 60 years.
It's interesting you brought up Draupadi Murmu ji. If I can just...
standards of New India on the one hand.
Sorry to interrupt, just 1 second. It's very interesting you brought up Draupadi Murmu ji, because Margaret Alva turned it around the other way and said that BJP says that we stand for tribals and women, and look at how you are treating a lady. That on the very day Draupadi Murmu is possibly going to be elected our next president, this is happening.
My reply is very simple. Margaret Alva today is the vice presidential candidate. Though bound to lose, surely. But once you are a candidate for the august office of the Vice President of India, you are required to at least follow the norms of restraint and protocol which a nominee to that office has to follow. I think I have spoken enough. She has been a governor for so many states. She has been a union minister, and she has been an MP for many terms. So I hope Margaret Alva knows the law, isn't it? Beyond that, I have nothing more to say.
All right, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, thank you very much for speaking to us. This is not the last, of course, that the Congress says. You've heard on their Satyagrah as far as the new Indian case is concerned. Thanks very much, Mr. Prasad, for having joined us. The big story, of course, remains the continuing Satyagrah of the Congress. R. Rajgopalan, senior journalist, joins us along with Kuntal Krishna, political analyst, Manasvi Thapar, lawyer and political analyst. Manasvi Thapar, you know, I think the most revealing comment today came from an MLA in Karnataka who said कि 3 दशकों से गांधी फैमिली ने हमको कमाने का मौका दिया है, तो कम से कम सड़क पे प्रोटेस्ट तो कर ही सकते हैं. That is the reason why people are out on streets.
Ultimately, I would want to talk on the biasness of ED. When it comes to Congress leaders, you have all the right to probe them, investigate them. But when it comes to conviction, we know how the conviction rate of ED is. It's the lowest in the country.
Sir, I have a simple... My question today is not even about the merits of the case. That will be decided by the court, by the investigation. My question is, if there is an ongoing investigation, does it make sense to go and say, I will burn a car? That is not going to change the outcome of the investigation, right? You burn 1 car, you burn 2 cars, you burn 200 cars, the investigation will still continue.
You burn or you don't burn, the reality is going to come out sooner or later. But please let me make my point. The point here is...
Then wait for the reality to come out. Why are you burning cars?
You wait for me to complete my sentence. I have understood your question. Let me make a proposition.
Okay.
You counter as soon as I speak 2 words. So if we talk about biasness, when it comes to opposition leaders, BJP or ED is at the forefront to probe, investigate. These people from Raj Thakre to Shiv Sena leaders, to TMC leaders, to Aam Aadmi Party leaders, to Congress leaders, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, P. Chidambaram, DK Shiv, everyone they probe. But the reality is, what is the outcome? You are probing since 2014. There is no conviction of any opposition leader. You have reopened cases against Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati, even then. But the timing, you have exactly the timing in terms of elections. And there were various other scams in the same duration. In the past also,
okay.
From Rose Valley Chit Fund, from Sharda Chit Fund, no investigation has happened. Narayan Ghane, nothing has happened.
But sir, you still haven't answered what is achieved, Mr. Rajgopalan, by burning cars.
Cheap politics, I could say that. Congress has stooped to the level of very, very cheap politics, and they take the Sonia Gandhi's banner inside Lok Sabha and flash it before the Speaker of Lok Sabha. And she is a sitting MP. What type of Congress is they are going to have it? And second thing, in Rajya Sabha, they take inside the Rajya Sabha milk packets. Congress MPs take milk packets so that they say milk pack. This stooped to the lowest level, Padmaja. My understanding is that Ravi Shankar Prasad has given a very right answer. After following the National Herald case for the last 10 years, 2012 onwards to 2022, there were 18 hearings in Supreme Court, totaling of 8 hours, 9 hours. In High Court, it was more than 3 months, 90 days. The legal experts of Congress, including the great legal luminaries, Chidambaram, Kapil Sibal, Abhishek Manu Singhi, they all argued.
Okay.
They failed to get a relief for Madam Sonia Gandhi. Apart from that, one last point I would like to make. Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge says Sonia Gandhi is very aged. She should not be summoned. She should be, the ED should go to her house. I want to give one similar example. The Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Karunanidhi, his wife is Dayalu Ammal. She was 80 years. On 2G case, when Mr. Chidambaram was Finance Minister in 2014, ED notice was sent. She had the Alzheimer's disease. She forgot everything, that Dayalu Ammal. But she was summoned to Sastri Bhavan in Chennai, the ED office. Where does Chidambaram stand now? He does 2 tongues, including Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge.
Answer, Mr. Kuntal Krishna. So you expect privileges and you expect concessions when you made none?
Padmaja, it is not a question about who did what. With all due regards to my seniors like Mr. Rajgopalan and Ravi Shankar Prasad, we are talking about a rule, and we expect these senior people, these very, very seasoned people to talk about rules. When Mr. Mallikarjun stated something, he was stating a rule, and it is very clear that whatever ED is doing today is a clear act of political vendetta and misuse of constitutional agency.
Answer his example.
His
He's saying when Dayalu Ammal was called, was it vendetta?
Padmaja,
No
today
answer, no answer.
ED is
No
busy
answer.
questioning all the leaders of opposition only. Today ED is working as his master's voice. Today ED is working as BJP and RSS frontal organization. And
when ED is used for a witch hunt, you need to protest, Mr. Rajgopalan.
Mr. Krishna is very much junior in the politics because he taken my age. You are much junior, Mr. Krishna. I tell you, what is the age of Mallikarjun Kharge, as Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad asked you? What is the age of Mr. P. Chidambaram? He asked you. Why the same rule cannot be applied to Madam Sonia Gandhi? That is what simple. But Dayalu Ammal had an Alzheimer's disease. You are having a negotiations with
all
DMK.
due regards to you, Rajgopalan sir, with all due regards to you, we are talking about a rule, sir. We are talking about a rule.
When Chidambaram asked Dayalu Ammal, which rule?
If agencies continue to take, sir, if constitutional agencies continue to take dictate from their political masters, and if they continue to take orders from RSS headquarters, then these constitutional agencies are going to be in a trap of
He is not
vicious
answering.
Because political masters
I think
are
this is
never
pretty
permanent.
standard for every time, whether it was in the case of the protest for Rahul Gandhi, whether it is the case right now. There is never an answer to the fundamental question, Mr. Krishna, that you have a problem with the investigation, you challenge the investigation legally. Hitting the streets is not going to change anything. It's only going to be seen as an assertion of strength, defiance, and trying to hold up the probe itself. Thanks very much all gentlemen for joining me. Big news in fact coming in about the presidential election. Stay tuned for that exclusive.